Hey guys, and welcome to the fourth episode of Memetaa TV. I believe I was supposed to do a tutorial next on basics, but since the new characters came out for really unexpectedly, I actually figured I would do something a little different, and I'm just going to do a very brief character introduction. I'm not sure if I'm going to do both yet. I just decided on Anasui because I found him particularly interesting. And just in case you were on the fence for people who own the game now of whether or not you want to buy the character, this might be a good way to judge it. I'm not going to give a full-up tutorial, but I am going to basically go down his move list and give you an idea of what he can do. So Anasui, like I said, I find him to be a very interesting character. I think he is actually rather good. He's kind of like Abdul, maybe lacking a few tools that Abdul has. But I believe what he has gives him plenty of combo potential, as well as plenty of ways to give his opponent trouble, both up close and, if he wants to stay farther back. So for the start, let's just go over his normals. Standing normals are pretty basic. His standing medium is actually really useless. I really hate that he has this because as far as ground combos go, it's fine, but say you launch someone like that, medium, obviously whiffs, so it's really useless for juggles, which means if you do any aerial juggles, you do have to do light heavy, and you have to skip medium, because if you do this, you're just going to whiff, and the heavy will whiff because they'll fall too far down. So just keep that in mind. Otherwise, pretty standard range. Standing heavy is actually pretty good, and it does actually hit pretty high up into the air, and you can cancel it into his one of his moves as well, which I'll get to later. So it's actually pretty good. It's one of the better standing heavies in the game, I believe. As for crouching, crouching light is actually pretty decent range. It's nothing amazing, but for in comparison to most of the crouching standard or crouching lights, it is actually pretty far. Crouching mid, maybe not as much range. So if you hit it with maybe okay, so you can get in about 3 crouching lights, maybe even 4. So okay, so his crouching mid's actually better than I thought it was, but from a spacing standpoint, maybe not the best move. However, his crouching heavy reaches ridiculously far, so it's actually really good. I really like this move actually, or this normal. Because, yeah, as you can see, you get a lot of range out of that. As far as anything else, jumping normals, jumping light, air to air. Jumping medium is going to be your main crossover, like most stand users. Crouching medium or jumping medium is usually the default. So yeah, it does cross up. It's maybe not as easy as certain characters, but it does work. So yeah. And standing heavy or jumping heavy, my fault, is, if you know Rohan's moveset, yeah, it does cause you to float, so you get locked in the air when you do this, and you can't do anything after it. So this move is actually really bad. Hopefully you don't hit it on accident, because your recovery on it actually is so bad that an enemy can probably hit you even if you hit them. So, yeah, so standing heavy, try not to use it unless you have some plan of maybe if you want to float over a projectile or something, but otherwise don't use this. What else? Stand normals, maybe, yeah, just they're basically not too much separate. Obviously his standing normals are a lot better. It's kind of like his crouch. Standing medium isn't that far. However, crouching or standing light is actually really good and gets some pretty ridiculous range. And actually, because of this, if you use his quick stand on, yeah, you can actually combo because he calls stand fast enough. It's kind of it's not that hard of a link, but let's see if I can show you. Oops, I showed you that first time, but yeah, so it's not an impossible link. Like I said, standing medium, if you hit with standing light at a really far range, and you kind of have to eyeball it, you might have to go straight into standing heavy if you want to get a combo. But that's about it. So just remember, most of his mids kind of suck in terms of range. Not just in terms of range, but hitbox's range, basically. So just, if you play Anasui, be ready to link light to heavy a lot of the time. As for crouching, yeah, crouching light with his stand is, again, really ridiculous range. Heavy, not as great maybe as his, it's about the same range as his standing, you know, with standoff. And crouching heavy, you know, in comparison to his lights, again, his lights, I don't know why they have this much range, but this is one of the reasons why I like him, is his light range is ridiculous. So he's great for poking, actually. You have great poking tools. Well, especially with stand-on. If you want to stay with stand-on, that's perfect because he actually gets a lot of benefit from it. But if you want to stay in standoff, just remember, you know, standing normal, bad, crouching normal, not much range, and the only good normal you like is your jumping normal. So outside of that, I guess we can... Oh, alright, he does have one command move, and it is a overhead. It's, you know, a very typical overhead that you'd see in a combo-heavy game, and you can cancel it, of course, in the special moves, and that's about all you can do, because you can't combo into it, because it's slow. But you can get a lot of big damage off of this, and I'll kind of show you what you can do afterwards later. But, yeah, in standard overhead, you'll use it, obviously, because you don't want to jump all the time. So, just remember, it's just 6M, so 6 medium. So forward, medium, I guess, if you don't like number notation. Okay, as for moveset, should I go... maybe I'll just see this. Okay, so first one is his quarter circle back and any strength. This can be charged, and I'll show you. So like that. And what does charging do? Charging actually does boost the damage of this. As you can see, it's a trap type move. This functions a lot like Koichi's, I don't know what the name of it is, the one where he sets the emoji on the ground and it can launch the enemy. This essentially does the same thing. So the punch actually does count as a hit, and if you full charge, it does do about 40 more damage than it normally does, because if you do it in combo, it can combo like this, but it only does about 15, so there is a reason to charge it, and if you're setting up a trap, you will probably want to charge it. Otherwise, if you just set it like this, it's like 10, and it's just basically a launch. And by the way, this is actually really safe. Let's see. Say the enemy guards like your string, and you set that up. This doesn't actually look safe, but say the opponent tries to hit you right after the punch, they will actually get hit by the trap. So you'll get hit, and they'll get counter hit by the trap, and you'll get just hit there. And depending on what they do, it'll probably not knock you back that far. Maybe if they did a sweep, it'll knock you down. But say they did like a light punch to try and smack you, it'll probably give you very minimal hit stun, it'll launch them into the air, and you can probably get a full combo off of it. I haven't actually tried it. I've seen the counter hit happen a few times, and I never really reacted fast enough to do the combo, but I believe if you maybe did have a better eye, you could easily pull it off. So just remember, if you want to do a standing combo, that's pretty safe, as long as you don't charge anyway. If you charge, then obviously they're going to hit you before you set the trap, but if you just do that, that'll actually counter hit them out of any counter attack they try to do. Maybe a super might get you, but it'd take a lot of testing, and I haven't done that much yet, since it's still the first night. Next move is take off guard. It's actually, I guess, a grab, or it's a lock move. That's the best way to describe it. It can hit standing, but as I kind of showed you earlier, this is a great way to grab people out of the air, and for combos, it's basically what I've been using as a main finisher for combos when I use gauge. So there you go, just like that. So a good way to end a combo without using gauge. It does how much damage on its own? 40 damage on its own, so not bad. And basically nothing, the strengths don't change it at all, so light, medium, heavy, whatever you want to use, it's all the same. So it's simple. And that is a Shoryuken motion, so forward, then down, down, forward, and any button. Okay, next you have his command grab, this is still on standoff, by the way. This is a command grab. It does not that much damage. As you can see, it looks pretty cool, but it doesn't do that much damage. It's like, what's it, 37, but as you can see, it launches high. Very high, actually. This is probably something that might mess you up, is the height of it's pretty bad, so you do have to wait a bit before you actually time your follow-up. And if you mess it up like that, there's a chance that you might actually launch them in an odd way. But, you know, you're one of the very few characters that have a command grab that has like special properties like this, so it's pretty cool. And yeah, oh yeah, I forgot to mention this part. As for the strength differences, light, your stand only goes out that far, medium, that far, heavy, you reach pretty far. So that's the strength difference for this. As for after, if you grab all the way across the screen like that, you do actually end up close to your opponent afterwards. So the follow-up timing is still the same. So actually, it's actually really good because if your opponent's, well, I don't know, stupid enough to like watch your stand go across and grab them, then there's that. And like I said, that leads into his normal combo. I actually suck at the timing, so I haven't actually got it down perfectly yet. Alright, so next is his, the same command, so half circle forward in stand on mode. It's a normal throw, or it's another command grab. This one, actually, you can't do a follow-up, but it does do 78 damage on its own. That's about that. Oh, by the way, his normal grab is 130, so standard grabs are still better, but remember that his command grab it can be broken, so it's guaranteed 75 damage as opposed to 130 where the opponent might break your grab. Alright, next one is his quarter circle back in stand on mode. This is kind of his gimmick sort of thing. So as you can see, light actually hits low, and this can be stand rush, so say you do that, you can come in and do a overhead if you want, and hope that your opponent doesn't see it, or they're too busy blocking low. So there you go, so you can do that, and your stand will probably be back by the time you finish the overhead, so you can probably follow up with a special move. So that's your light version of it. The medium version is a mid. Oh yeah, if you didn't see, if the light actually does hit, it knocks down, so you can't actually follow up with anything after it. Same with the mid, it does hit overhead, it does 55, both do 55 if they hit, but they both knock down, so that's the end of that. And then there's the heavy version, which combos, and as long as the full thing hits, which there's, I don't know, sometimes like there's some goofy hitboxes where it'll hit in weird areas. Sometimes the last hit won't actually hit, and it'll just go through your opponent and it won't launch them properly. So you do have to kind of watch out. There are some times that happen just because of the hitbox goofiness, but yeah, like I don't know what that was, and because of that it didn't combo properly. That's what you want to see usually. When you see it hit like that, then you know it's basically going to hit the full. So when you see it hit behind, you're pretty good. And as you can see, you can stand rush it, and you can go into your normal combo from standoff mode from there. So there's that, and that's heavy version of that, by the way. Okay, so last one you should know about is his aerial move, which is this. This, like any aerial roll can be cancelled off of normal, so you can do like jumping heavy there. It does do a hard knockdown like that, so that's basically, it'll end your combo. I mean, I can't say there's a total use for this move until people find decent combos with stand, but since stand can't really launch like you can when you're in this mode, like, you have all your launches in this mode because of your traps, your command grab. Oh, by the way, if you wanted to know, for that command grab, that is a hard knockdown for the traps. That's so they can tech that. So say you screw up your combo here, or you miss following up with your jump attack, or whatever you want to follow up with, they will, if they are smart enough to tech roll, they will tech roll. So that's essentially that. For his HH or heart heat attack. Okay, so it is a still, I mean, it looks like it hits low, but it is a high. Basically how it works is if the last punch there hits your opponent, it'll send them to that animation, but the little punches don't do that much damage, and most of the damage comes from the lock. So you do want to hit with the last punch. And I believe maybe I'll just do the easy way to show it. So if you set a trap, like say the little ones or the little punches won't hit most of the time unless you do a proper combo with it, but it'll always hit with the last punch, which is what you want to see. So, I mean, not much to explain there. It's a really basic move. And last is his... Oh, I got them backwards. Oh well, whatever. So this is heart heat. This great heart. Oh, okay, I did it backwards, that's why. Okay, so as for his great heart attack, this is the odd one. And this is the one that I have yet to find how you're going to use it properly, but there it goes. So it's an unblockable, and as you can see, it has a really slow startup, but actually, hopefully my controller has enough battery, so hopefully do this. Now, let's see. Hopefully my controller will last long enough. So after you activate it, as you can see, Diver Down, aka his stand, does actually lock in on his opponent's position when it comes up, so they do have to essentially jump it. Line change would be kind of risky because there's always a chance that they might do it too early, and if they do it too early, then Diver Down will just grab them anyway. Since it is unblockable, they can stylish it. Okay, so maybe it is, you could probably spam, if you quick spam it, let's see. So yeah, I guess, yeah, if you do it predictable, then if they do have the time to sidestep, then they can just sidestep it. Of course, they can just jump. Yeah, so jumping's an easy way to, like, probably the easiest way to avoid it. And then if they are very savvy, then they can stylish it. But since if you're farther away when you do it, then chances are they won't punish you for it. But that's about it. I mean, there's absolutely no way to combo it because it's so slow. So that's the unfortunate part. Unless this somehow magically, of course not. So yeah, unfortunately not the best, but I'm sure you can find ways to set it up. But chances are, I mean, opponent can just so easily figure out how to jump it, use your jump invincibility, or sidestep, or backstep even. So let's just take that off. And I'll just go over like the really simple combos I found. Alright, so the one I was basically, I'm not sure if I actually did it on recording, but the one I usually do for no gauge. Oops. Okay, so light, medium, heavy, then crucible back, light, medium, and then your Shoryuken. And I'll annotate that on the video so in annotation so you can actually see it. But there's that. If you have stand on, then you can do something like... Oops. So there's that. You can see the same combo, but you get stand rush in. And of course, if you want to use a super... Oops. And these are really basic. I'm sure people will find better things. And I'll probably be searching all night for combos because I've been liking Anasui's playstyle. Even though I don't like Anasui as a character, I do actually like how he plays in this game, so I get the feeling I might be playing him. So there you go. That's kind of how it looks with the super, if you get it. And that's one bar. It does 331, and I think Stand Rush does a bit more. I think it gets up to like 350 or so. And of course you can do goofy stuff like... did I ever pull this off? This is probably a waste of gauge more so than anything, but... This would be 2 gauge, and this is going to do much. That was like 396. So it'll probably get around 400 if you get a jump in or get the hits right, but you know, you can do stuff like that. So, I don't know. Since you have so many options and so many ways to actually send the opponent airborne, and if you can get them to walk over a full charge trap, that's already 50 damage on its own. So let's see. Oh, what does... Okay, I didn't... Okay, so we learned something right now that even I didn't notice. So if the full charge trap hits, it actually does launch higher, doesn't it? Am I crazy? Yeah, so full charge traps do launch higher. So around the height of his command grab. Okay, I see. Okay, so put that one in your notebook. That if you do hit with full charge trap, be ready because it does launch higher. I don't know how much damage that gets. Alright, so that gets, off a full charge trap, 293. And if that first little punch doesn't hit, it's around 290. And, oh yeah, I forgot to show this, but say you do hit with your overhead, you can go right into trap. Oops. There you go. And that does... I thought this was around 250 or so. Oh, 295. So almost 300 damage off an overhead. So pretty good. Of course, jump-ins are overheads, but, you know, this is... You can easily plan this, like I said, if you play around with this kind of stuff. Then you have a lot of tools, and then of course you have command grabs. So if you can nail like the timing down for those, you're pretty good because you'll be getting a lot of big damage from small elements that he has. So, you know, like I said, look over these tools. And, you know, once people start finding bigger combos, I don't know, I feel like Anasui will become a pretty big threat just because of his pure, I don't know, he has a lot of options, and like I said, his pokes and his range on a lot of his moves are pretty good. And I believe that's about all I need to talk about, so... as always, comment, rate, subscribe, whenever. And if you guys really want to see me do Vanilla Ice, I don't mind. I already went pretty much over most of what he does, and maybe I'll find some interesting combos by tomorrow. But that's about it, and thanks for watching, guys.